Hi, everyone, and welcome to our segment, The Journey of Young Onset. I'm your host, Jessica Krauser, and I'm here with my co-host, Brian Baker.
Hello, Jessica.
Hi, Brian. And we have a special guest with us today. Did you know?
The new crown carrier.
The new crown carrier, Samantha Anderson.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And why do we call her that?
Because she's the youngest one in the current group with us.
I know.
So it went from me to you to her.
And how old are you now?
I am 46.
I'm 40, and you are?
36.
Oh, she's 10 years younger than you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so Samantha, thank you so much for joining. So obviously, Samantha has young-onset Parkinson's just like we do, and you were just diagnosed last year?
I was diagnosed in 2020, right in the heart of COVID.
Oh, wow. What a great time to be diagnosed, right?
Well, it actually wasn't too bad because I got to test out the medication without being at work because it made me nauseous and things like that. So
Ooh.
I looked at the upside of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a glass half full.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. That's actually really good. Something good that we can discuss. But our discussion today is really just about the diagnosis journey, what we go through as young onset patients, but then even more specifically, if we want, what we go through as women, because there's definitely not many of us. Just to kind of kick things off, I thought I'd at least share my story with you because we met, but there's so much more that we get to talk about. When I was diagnosed, I had so many things happen right at once. So I got on medication, but I was tweaking it constantly in the beginning. I had a roller coaster of emotions of like feeling down, depressed, to feeling like I got this, to then down again. I started incorporating exercise into my daily routine. I talked to family and friends, coworkers, eventually my kids. My husband and I looked seriously at our retirement plans, like what we wanted to do in our future, et cetera. I sat on my front porch rocking in a chair, I think, for 3 months straight, just like gazing out, trying to figure out what's going on with my life. Because I didn't know if at some point I'm going to be in a wheelchair sooner than I would have ever expected. So finally, it did take me a while, though, to realize that I don't have to know and understand everything that's going on all at once because, one, we are the age we are, and we have time to figure this out. It's not like every single symptom is going to come attack us immediately all at one time. So anyways, the whole first year, I remember thinking, there's questions I had about being young, but then also being a woman. I'm like, I just want to find somebody out there who is like me, who has a career, who is in their 30s, because I was in my 30s when I was diagnosed, married, has kids, doesn't have kids, just, in that same boat of the situation. And there's people you can meet on Facebook and stuff, but like meeting them face to face is totally different. So when we got to meet you last year, I was so excited.
Yeah,
so,
I think we were Facebook friends for a very long time before
we started off as Facebook friends. So, but now let's hear about your story. So when you were diagnosed during COVID, and how did that come about? Yeah,
so it was probably early 2019, and I was taking notes. I'm a financial planner, so I'm taking notes in my client meetings, and I can't read my handwriting anymore, and it was just odd to me. And then I actually was using two hands on my mouse. I think we have a similar story, Brian.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't realize I was doing it. I remember my manager walking by and he's like, "What's going on there?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "I don't know. I think I have carpal tunnel."
That's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah. So I went to my physician just at my yearly physical and was like, I'm having, this symptoms but it doesn't hurt. And she's like, "I don't think it's carpal tunnel." And I thought it was a medication problem. One of the medications I was on was just making me do that. But they said it would be both sides if that was a medication caused problem. So then she referred me to I waited till 2020 because I wanted to start new with a deductible and get if I was diagnosed, it's funny how health insurance just guides us.
It does.
So I got an MRI in early 2020, and that came back negative for anything. It was back. It was normal. So she sent me to a neurologist, an MDS, and I was so grateful that I had a movement disorder specialist. And he actually diagnosed me over FaceTime. So my husband, so it was in April of 2020. And so what happened was he just had my husband hold the phone, and I walked. I wrote some things, and he diagnosed me right there on the spot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was kind of expecting it because I had, you know,
researching and everything already.
And I'm like, I have every one of these symptoms,
Yeah.
but there's no way I have Parkinson's. Like, you know, so yeah. So I started medication right away because he was saying, you know, there's no like test you can do, but if you start on the carbidopa levodopa and it works, then you probably have Parkinson's.
So did both of you start medication right away?
I started on Ropinirole. I didn't start carbidopa levodopa until just 6 months ago.
And you started out? See, my neurologist said, you come to me, my movement disorder specialist said, you tell me when you want to start medication.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't start for like the first year and a half. I had it for a year and a half before I started it.
Okay.
And then I found out I was so rigid, I was like, I need medication. So you both started it right away then.
Yeah. It was part of feeling out and knowing that I had.
I was going to say some of them I hear do it just to as a test, but my MDS, she said I could start on it, so she was kind of the same way your doctor was, of like you can start on stuff, but I started low on just Ropinirole. But are you still on carbidopa levodopa then?
I am, but after we tested it and it worked, he was like, "That's pretty much a diagnosis," and he gave me the option to continue on it.
How long did you have to be on it for him to know?
Well, we gradually went up in dosage, so it was probably 2 months, and I felt it working.
Yeah. So when you found out, like, I mean, even though you did your own research and you thought it could be that, what were your like initial fears, thoughts, processing?
My initial one was, when am I going to be in a wheelchair? And, you know, I'm a financial planner, so I have to have everything planned in my life. And the fact that I got this diagnosis of a disease that has no, like, forecast, you don't know what's going to happen, is kind of crazy. So that was my biggest fear, is I just wanted someone to tell me how much time I had left before I was in a wheelchair. And I thought it was going to come much sooner, but then I see, you know, people at the gym that have had it for years, and it really, like, gets my hopes up that it'll last longer. My other fear was, who's going to take care of me? I am married, but women live a little longer than men, and
sorry,
I got 10 years on her. Don't I'll go way before both of you guys.
Yeah, so I'm just that was my biggest concern, is if my husband passes away before me, what am I gonna do? So.
And you have a stepdaughter, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She will be 12 next month.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So our kids are all the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have other family like close by, and did you talk to them about it?
So I'm pretty close to my in-laws. So we didn't tell them right away. It was like always a wrong time in my mind to tell them. Like, it's Thanksgiving. Who wants to ruin Thanksgiving? It's Christmas. Well, then it's Grandma's birthday, and it was finally like, I'm like, we have to tell him, Todd. Like, we have to do that, and they've been very supportive. My mother-in-law attends like webinars and researches and
awesome.
everything. So yeah.
And did you tell your stepdaughter?
Yes, and she actually knew it before I told her.
Really?
I thought, I'm gonna hide it from her because she's kind of an anxious person, but she notices, like, when we were taking off Christmas lights and doing things around the house, I can't, like, screw things on. So, yeah, I ended up telling her, because she was asking a lot of questions about it, and I said, do you know what Parkinson's is? And I actually bought this book for her. It's called Shaky Hands.
I see it.
Yeah.
Because I did not get anything for my kids. This might be helpful.
That's great. I didn't know that was even existed.
Yeah, so she's a physician, and she actually has Parkinson's. she was diagnosed at age 27, I
This
believe.
woman.
Yeah. Yeah, so that book it helped, my daughter read the whole thing, and it just helped her understand a little better.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part in that book is how they explain bradykinesia.
Okay,
Because-
can you explain that? Because I feel like we were talking about definitions. We're like, we need to have a word of the day.
Yeah, so that's my biggest symptom, and it's just slowness.
Okay.
So I don't have a tremor quite yet, but I'm just slow at things. And it described it as imagine you're moving in a pool and like trying to move your arms underwater and stuff. And I thought that was a really good description
Yeah.
of what that is.
Do they talk about the fact that it will continue to get worse?
Yeah.
Do they say it in a decent way so that the
Yeah.
kids, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's my son is a senior in high school, but I still think just looking at that might be something for, like you said, that breaks it down
Yeah.
and help him understand.
I even learned some things reading it.
Well, I was going to say, like, even just like doing this podcast, that's why we want to do it, is just to break things down and make it easy so that we know, like, again, I thought I was going to be in a wheelchair too. It's like, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It might not even happen when we're 80. I mean, half the people in our workout class are 80 and they're not in wheelchairs. But it's like, how do you explain it, bringing awareness that you can live well with Parkinson's if you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, there could be things that happen or get worse for others, but there's things that you can control, and that's why I feel like we always keep in touch with.
I feel like one of the best things that comes from Parkinson's is I've had to learn how to live in the present. So it's day by day. I've always been a planner, and it's like you kind of have to take it day by day. Right. Some days are good, some days are bad, and you'll start over tomorrow.
In the first year that I had Parkinson's, I was consumed with it. It took over my life. Every thought I had was Parkinson's. Every minute of every day, I was thinking about Parkinson's.
Yep.
And literally, I just woke up one morning and I said, "I'm not living today. I'm missing out on living today because I'm worried about Parkinson's." And in a moment, I just snapped and I was like, I can't." And I don't think about it anymore. I was like, it's just part of me now.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I had a little longer. Mine was probably a year and a half, but I was like, I don't even know like how long I can work, but I'm like, my employer is working with me really well, and so it's gone really well, and I've had to learn how to live in the present, but I'm finally to that point where I don't think about it every minute of every day.
Mm-hmm. And I think part of that too is medication helps with that, because I was in the same boat, but then last year I got off medication. And then I was constantly moving, so I'm like, I can't stop thinking about it. But now it's like I'm with you guys. It's like it's not consuming every part of me. Yeah. So is there anything that you would do different, knowing like what as you were diagnosed, that you wish you would have handled differently or known?
I wish I would have thought about long-term care insurance earlier, because now that I'm diagnosed, I can't pass underwriting to get that, and that's really important. So I wish I would have thought about that.
That's a good one to think about. Okay, well, great. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. We really appreciate having you. I love having you on too as a young-onset Parkinson's patient, but it's always fun to have a woman too. So in our last 30 seconds, I'll leave you with this. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease, urge them to reach out and find a community of other Parkinson's patients if they haven't done so already. There are YOPD resources out there like the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the Parkinson's Foundation, Young-onset Parkinson's Network, and many others. Once you put yourself out there, hopefully you'll find a patient just like you. It might not happen overnight, but it is a lifelong disease. We've got time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks.